So you're driven. You're always looking for that edge, right? In business, coaching, maybe athletics.
Absolutely. And today we're doing a deep dive into something really foundational for that kind of success, psychological flexibility.
Yes. It's a term that comes up a lot, and Coach Ed Padalecki really emphasizes it in his work, Peak Performance, today.
He does. And
Yeah.
it's not just some soft skill, is it? It's more like a dynamic capability, being able to really thrive when things are changing.
Exactly. And Dr. Dan Siegel gives us a really helpful way to think about this visually. Imagine a river. On one bank, you've got structure, that's your routines, your plans, your discipline training, all that good stuff.
Right, the organized side.
And on the other bank, spontaneity. That's your ability to adapt, be creative in the moment, roll with the punches.
So the ideal state, according to Siegel, is flowing within that river, in that zone of flexibility.
Precisely. But what happens, especially for high achievers, like many listening, when you get sort of pulled too close to one bank?
Well, let's take the structure side first. Too much structure. You risk becoming rigid, right?
Totally. In business, maybe sticking to a plan that's clearly not working anymore just because, well, it was the plan.
Or for an athlete, maybe being unable to adjust if the conditions on race day aren't what you trained for.
Yeah, or a coach who just sticks to the textbook, even when their client clearly needs a different approach. You see that?
And then the other side, too much spontaneity. That can just lead to, well, chaos, lack of focus.
Definitely. Like the entrepreneur who's always chasing the newest shiny object, never committing.
Or the athlete without any consistent training plan. Or the coach who jumps between fads without a solid method.
So our mission here really is pretty straightforward. We want to help you do a quick check-in. Where are you on that river right now?
Are you feeling a bit hemmed in by too much structure? Or maybe a bit scattered by too much spontaneity?
And Coach Padalecki poses these really direct questions in Peak Performance today. He asks essentially, where's my balance right now?
Yeah, am I flooding structure or spontaneity? It's a great prompt for self-reflection, especially if you're serious about performing at your peak.
And it's not about finding some static middle ground and staying there forever, is it?
No, not at all. It's dynamic. It's more like a constant dance, a calibration that needs adjusting based on what's happening around you.
Coach P really hammers this home. True peak performance needs both. You need that bedrock of systems and intention, that structure.
But you also need the agility, the openness to adapt and see new possibilities.
What I find interesting, too, is that this flexibility isn't just about external stuff like changing market conditions or race day weather.
Right. It's also about how you respond internally to setbacks, to surprises. A flexible mindset lets you learn and adjust instead of just getting derailed.
Coach Padalecki calls it finding your individual sweet spot, that perfect dynamic balance.
Exactly. Where you can be focused and adaptable, disciplined and open. That's what allows for sustained high performance over the long haul.
So let's bring it back to Coach Padalecki's challenge. Thinking about that balance, what's maybe one small thing, something actionable you could do today to flow a bit more smoothly?
Okay, so if you're feeling maybe overwhelmed, a bit chaotic, perhaps just planning out your top 3 priorities for tomorrow could introduce some helpful structure.
Good one. Or conversely, if you feel like you're maybe stuck in a bit of a rut, maybe consciously introduce a little mindful spontaneity. Like take 5 minutes to explore a totally new idea in your field, or just try a slightly different approach to a task you always do the same way.
It's about nudging yourself back towards that flexible flow.
Definitely. So here's a final thought to chew on after this deep dive.
Okay.
How might cultivating a bit more psychological flexibility in just one specific area, maybe your work strategy, your training, your personal life, how might that create positive ripple effects elsewhere?
That's a powerful question, something to really consider. Where could that flexibility make the biggest difference for you? Thanks for taking this deep dive with us. We hope this gives you some food for thought as you continue on your journey.